Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Annalisa and this is Homemade Sunshine. So in this week's video, we're gonna be doing a lot of fall things. I know I'm probably a little late to the fall content, but such is life. It's not even Halloween yet, so it's definitely still fall. And it's only recently gotten colder here in East Tennessee in the past, I'd say, couple weeks. But I'm going to be sharing with you guys a cute fall craft that I am going today to make at my library. A fall home tour of my different fall decor in my house, just little vignettes that I've done here and there, all that fun stuff, and there might even be a recipe at the end. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. So here I'm taking you through some different fall vignettes in my home. First, starting at the fireplace, which we do not use, so don't worry about all these things in front of the fireplace. We do not actually use it. Even though it is a wood burning fireplace. This is probably my favorite area to decorate, and there's a few things up here that I have crafted myself, just a couple, and there is a lot of, the majority of my items are secondhand, thrifted. My willow tree angels are thrifted that you'll see in different little spots, or some of the little things like the flat pumpkins that you see on the old Coke bottle holder are from Hobby Lobby, which don't assume I bought any of those Hobby Lobby items full price. I only get Hobby Lobby decor 90% off. It's just what keeps me in check. And plus, I find the store kind of overwhelming when there's so many options to choose from. So when it's just down to 90%, there's only a few things to choose from. It's just, I find it easier. It's not as stressful. And I did get a lot of new things to add this year from the Hobby Lobby 90% off sale, and then a yard sale that I went to this summer, the one where I got the big blue duvet, if you can recall that. There was just a little kitty peeking in the corner of that last shot. I got a few fall things from there. And you'll see I use a lot of runners in my home and doilies. I love runners. I love doilies. I just think it's such a fun thing to switch out, and I'm surprised that more people don't use it. And I have lots of fall candles from Bath & Body Works around, and I love the Bath & Body Works candle wraps. I think they're so cute. Oh, here comes the cat. She wants to say hi. She is always very curious whenever I am filming. And then we've got this cute little tiered stand that I put just some little decorations on, mostly just little thrifted secondhand finds. And I do love decorating for the seasons. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I just enjoy it. I get tired of my decor by the time the season's over and I'm ready to switch everything out. So I'm recording this voiceover in the beginning of November, and I'm still enjoying it. But I know come Thanksgiving, I'll be ready to switch to Christmas. I feel like that painting I just showed you also is very autumnal, and got some cute fall leaf placemats. This is the fall wreath that I made. I change out the flowers on this plain grapevine wreath every season, and I love doing that. I love a faux floral wreath, and it's cheaper and easier to store to just have one wreath that I switch things out for. And then next, what I think every woman who comes to visit my house, their favorite thing is this built-in china cabinet that came with the home. I absolutely love it. It is so nice. It's lovely. So some of these things stay out pretty much year round, like the farm fresh milk, the big soup tureen in the pattern Falstaff nature wood. That stays out most of the year except for Christmas. So some of these things are little bits of year-round decor, but they do get switched around for every season, because depending on what other things you put with it, it kind of matches. And then you'll also see a lot of my husband's rock collection. So those get intermixed as well, because he does live here too. I have this beautiful long Longaberger basket in this part, which I filled with some fake flowers and these little metal leaves. I love that Longaberger basket. I picked it up at a yard sale years ago, and I understand why they got rid of it, because it's so hard to store because it's so large. But I love bringing it out every fall. And then this plate is my favorite Hobby Lobby thing I picked up last year. There was only one on the 90% off, and I just love to look at it. I don't normally love Hobby Lobby plates because I feel like they chip pretty easily, but I just love the look of that. And this is on the top of my fridge, some more of those wicker apples. And this is a new item this summer, this little hanging peg rack. And I have some cute little, some are longer burgers, some are just little mini woven baskets, and they are so fun. This little tiered rack in our corner of our kitchen, which on the bottom looks like a hot mess because it's where we have to keep the Wi-Fi router because that's just the location where it's at. But I always add a little bit of decor to it as well. And this is just the little scene over top of my kitchen sink looking out into the yard. And then this is back in the living room, our barn sliding door that we've never slid. It just stays there, which is why I just add little decor to it. And this is our little bench here that I always switch out with seasonal pillows and is just filled with blankets. And this is just my little office space. I don't decorate a ton in here, but I always like to add these little faux leaves to my bookshelf and to my desk, as you can see here, and just a little thing of autumnal faux flowers to my desk to add some cuteness. And this is just a little spot in our attic where we have this little table that I decorate, and just added a little bit of decor there. Here is our bedroom where I do switch out the curtains for the seasons. I usually do fall, winter, and spring, summer. And this is just where we display whatever cards we've received semi-recently. And as you can see, I always put out fall runners. I have a few fall runners on display in this room as well. It just is a good way to incorporate the season. And then, of course, my fall cat basket. Next, I'll be showing you guys, I am writing a card to my husband's great-grandmother for Halloween, and that's just something I recommend that if you guys have the time to do, write somebody in your family a card for the fall holidays, just giving them some updates and letting them know that you love and miss them. So this is the cute little card that we are going to send. I'm not going to open it up because I've already written everything in it, but it is very cute, and looking forward to getting a cute fall Halloween card out in the mail for my husband's great-grandmother. Okay, so we're making a little fall treat here in the kitchen, and I know I look a little crazy. I am trying to do very late on the trend, the clock lip, and I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube tutorials because I don't know what I'm doing. But I know you're gonna be so impressed. I'm making an apple crisp from a package. So this is just one of those things that, you know, I picked up last year after the fall season was over. These were reduced. It doesn't have the price sticker on it still, I think. It was just like in a bin of things marked down at the end of the season at my Kroger. So I might have been doing more baking this time of the year, but it's been hectic and a little chaotic this fall season. Most of my falls are usually pretty chaotic, but all you need is cooking apples, as they said. But I mean, this is a great recipe for using up discounted apples that you pick up at Kroger. So like the ones in the 99-cent bags, especially if they're like a little, you know, weird looking, but I've already gotten them diced and into my little pan here. And then it's just, oh, I missed a little bit in there. It's just 5 tablespoons of butter, and it says 6 to 8 apples. I say just eyeball it. I know which pan I like using this for, so that is easy enough. Peel, core, and slice the apples, and then I just need to mix this with a fork with the softened butter and put them into an ungreased pan and whammo, put it in the oven, and it'll be a nice and delicious apple crisp. So we can maybe chat while I am over here trying to stir this up. So I probably should have softened the butter a little bit more, but it's fine. We'll just deal with it. And usually for this one, I do like to add some oats on top of it just because I have them, and makes it maybe a tiny bit healthier. I don't know. You know, just a little bit of extra something. I wanted to show y'all how I make my sorghum cookies, but I just don't have the energy for it. So we're making an apple crisp instead. So I do love sorghum cookies though. Those are my favorite fall cookies. and winter cookies. So I hopefully will get time to show you guys in a video that recipe. It's not my recipe, it's somebody else's, but you know, just how I take the recipe and do it a little bit differently to suit my tastes. I would say our taste, but my husband is of the mindset that the only good cookies are chocolate chip, which is fine. You know, this is why we don't have a lot of sweets in our house, except we do have a bowl of candy right here. But we don't in general have a lot of sweets because he and I are opposite sweets people. The only things we really agree on are like cheesecake and ice cream. Like we both like ice cream, different ice creams, but we both like ice cream. And we both like cheesecake. He likes things that are chocolate. I do not eat chocolate. My favorite candy, I would say, is like a white chocolate Reese's, especially the ones that are shaped at the different times of the year. The egg is my favorite. Like, the white chocolate Reese's are delicious. My husband likes chocolate chip cookies. Of course, I don't eat chocolate chip cookies because I don't like chocolate. It's not for like a health reason or anything. I just don't care for chocolate. You can hear the cat playing in the background, so yeah, it's been a good fall. I'm filming this part the day before Halloween. And it's been so fun to see in our town. A lot of the people who live in town do some elaborate Halloween decorations. And so that has been fun to see. And we will not be going out and doing anything on Halloween because I'm one of those people who feels like Halloween is for kids mostly. That might be a hot take, but I don't know. We don't drink alcohol or anything like that. So there's not many of those kind of more adult Halloween activities that we would be partaking in. So I feel like it's more of a thing with like the kids dress up, they get the candy, blah, blah, blah. We don't watch horror movies or things like that because I don't enjoy that. I like the spooky Halloween genre of movie where it's like stuff that would be on Disney Channel, like Haunted Mansion, or, which I haven't watched any of that in years, but that's more like the level I'm at, like Halloween Town, Twitches, if you remember Tia and Tamara Mowry, however you say their names. Okay. So we've mixed this up pretty well. So we're gonna just pour this evenly over top. It's all just gonna meld together and be so good. But I mentioned these little packages now because they'll probably, I don't wanna say probably, maybe, they'll be on sale at your Kroger after maybe like Thanksgiving, fall time, when they start getting rid of all the fall products like things for candied apples and that sort of thing. And you can save them either till next year, or I think it said also on here, let me read real quick, I'm not finished. I think they said also, yeah, you could do peach or blueberry. So you could do it a different time of the year too. And I know you could say, Annalisa, you could just make this yourself from scratch. And I could, but you know what? Sometimes the convenience means I'm actually gonna do it. Whereas like, would I really want to make an apple crisp from scratch right now? Not really, I'm gonna be honest, not really. Like I said, it's been a very chaotic, crazy fall for us. So let me show you real quick up close what it looks like before I add the oatmeal. Okay, so here it is up close before we add the oatmeal. Just well covered. This is a Fiesta pan. I don't know how large it is, but I do love it. But this is the size, roughly hand-sized. I'm not very good with measurements, y'all. Now we're gonna add some oatmeal, which I think is just in one of my containers. Yes, right here. Aren't these so cute? These I got at a thrift store, paid up for these. There was a bunch of extras from it's Pfaltzgraff Naturewood, I think. Yes, Pfaltzgraff Naturewood. I love this China pattern. I do not have the plates, but I have like all the serving accessories and like decorative pieces. This is what I keep my oatmeal in. I have a 4-piece set of these, and this woman was getting rid of like every single bit of her collection, and I bought that at the time to save it from the landfill. It was just too cute. And I knew I would probably never find that much of that one set ever again, at least in one sitting. So it was a very exciting thing for me. I love the Pfaltzgraff Naturewood. And sometimes there's certain things that you know when thrifting that it's not gonna find very easily. That's like, I'm sure if you're into like the cottagecore thrifty stuff, then you've heard of the Lenox spice houses. I think they're stunning. They're so cute. And I saw some of the accessories for the set, like the flour, sugar containers, and a couple other little things, not the main spice houses themselves, at a consignment store, and I was like, oh my gosh, because they're really hard to get. The original spice houses, they're very sought after. Honestly, I wish Lennox would just start selling them again, but they are so pretty, and they were like well over $100. I wish I could remember how much it was, but it was a crazy amount because I was willing to pay up for it. I was like, okay. I was thinking like $10 a canister. It was way expensive, and maybe somebody's gonna pay that much and it'll be worth it for them, but it was not worth it for me. I was like, not considering that I already have canisters, but that is something that I hope they bring back. So we are going to put this in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes, which for me, I'll put it in for 30 minutes. Now it's time to set the cat timer to 30 minutes because, as you can see, this is a very old oven and I don't honestly know how to work the timer. To be totally honest, I think you can do something for it, but honestly, this is just easier for me. But this is my cute, very old Whirlpool oven, and I love it. She's vintage, she's amazing. We had to, the heating element on the bottom went out, and we literally had to measure it to be able to not special order, but to order the part for it, because even though the model number is in here, it's so old that it no longer brings anything up. So I'll see you back here when this is finished baking. So here is the finished product. I wish you could smell it through your screen because it smells absolutely amazing, and it's just got the most delicious cinnamony apple scent, and I cannot wait to dive into this once it cools off. Y'all, I just want to show you the amazing fall vibes outside my window. Ignore these things because this is how my windows are here. But is this not just like the most fall vibes ever out here? We're supposed to get rain soon, and it's finally gonna cool down, for which I am thankful because it's been super hot here. But this is one of the views in our home, and honestly is what pretty much sold me on it when we bought it, because when the wind is blowing and the leaves are swirling, it is just absolutely gorgeous and a beautiful fall scene. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna show you the 2 crafts that I got made this fall. There would have been 3, but I missed one of the crafternoons, and I just didn't sign up for it quickly enough, and it got full. So, which actually the class didn't end up being full. They've had to institute a new rule that if you sign up, you have to cancel, because they had, I think, 3 people not show up, which is not fun. So, but I went to 2 craft classes, so I'll show you what they turned out to look like. One looks a lot better than the other, just to be very straightforward. So first is this beautiful vase. I made it, if you're wondering why the camera just shook, the cat's like running back and forth in the background, but I made this beautiful vase. We used glue dots to secure these leaves around the side, and then we Mod Podged them to lay flat. I hot glued this twine around the top. The front has a nice bow tied by our instructor because she's a good bow tire, and a sunflower on the back. It also has this little light as well that you can pop down inside there to make a little glow. It'd be nice to have one of those warm glow ones, but our instructor said she couldn't find them. And then there's a little bit of like moss and a little piece of wood to keep it propped up. Hi, baby. Can you guys hear my cat? She's just like wondering, what am I doing? So my mom and I took that class together, and that was super fun. Say hi, Beanie. This is Miss Kitty, aka Beanie. If this is your first time here, you say hey. I know. It's hard to be a cat, you know? It's a hard job being a cat in this house, isn't it? Yeah, I know. She's wondering why I'm standing here and talking to my phone, so she's gonna meow at me. And my next craft did not turn out so hot. Oh, there goes the cat again. But it's more of a social crafting group that meets usually once a month. So it's not as much about, is it beautiful, as much as like getting to chat with other people. So this is my little pumpkin. They do this one every year, so maybe next year's pumpkin will look a little bit better, but it's made out of an old book and just has a little pipe cleaner stem. I added a little bit of a green ribbon, put some orange here on the pages, and this was a lot harder than I anticipated, but you know, it's not really about the craft, it's just about having fun and, you know, getting to hang out with other ladies. So, you know, but it's still fun that I got to make something. And most of my decor that you've gotten to see in this video is going to stay up until around Thanksgiving. I do generally like to get my Christmas decorations up before Thanksgiving, and this is the only reason why, because when Thanksgiving, well, one, I grew up in a family where my grandmother always decorated for Christmas before Thanksgiving. At Thanksgiving, her tree was up, so that's kind of my background. And plus, usually Thanksgiving is so busy, and so usually after Thanksgiving with sales and all of the hullabaloo of that time, I usually, if I don't decorate a few days before Thanksgiving, then in the after time, I'm even busier. So I would rather just go ahead and get it done like the week before Thanksgiving, and then then I can focus fully on Thanksgiving for the whole next week, and then I'm already ready and hitting the ground going for Christmas, which I'd love if you'd leave me a comment down below. First off, are you already decorating for Christmas? You might be, and I have no judgment if you are. You know, I say to each their own. It doesn't really matter what you do in your own personal home, whatever makes you happy. And secondly, have you started doing Christmas shopping? Because I have done most of mine already, thankfully. I've done most of the family Christmas shopping, and I will wrap the gifts in November. I prefer to have most of the month of December not be dedicated to purchasing gifts and wrapping things, whereas I would rather focus on like spending time with family, doing fun Christmas activities, going to different Christmas events, Christmas plays, that sort of thing. So, but if I'm having to buy a bunch of gifts, I'm stressed out because I'd rather be enjoying myself, but instead I'm having to like spend all this extra effort figuring out what everybody wants. So that's just me. One of my grandmothers, she bought everybody's Christmas gifts in October every year when she was still alive. So I'm just curious to hear what other people do with their kind of November time, because I feel like with social media now, you can't really tell. Some people are early on the Christmas wagon, some people are late. So that is it for this week's video. If you enjoy, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing. I post new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye.